All right, guys, so welcome to the segment on tracking calories using an app called MyFitnessPal. Now, before we get into anything, I want this to be totally clear. Using MyFitnessPal and tracking calories is only for people who meet the criteria. So you've got to not be able to follow the meal plans for whatever reasons. You're vegetarian, pescatarian, something along those lines. There's not enough choices there for you. Or alternatively, you like tracking numbers. Or alternatively to that, you want really good results. So this is going to optimize your results. But, and there is a big but on it, you need to do the effort, right? You need to track your calories every day. You need to make sure that you're hitting your macros, as I will explain through this video. So if you can't do any of those, right, or if you don't meet the criteria, do not watch this video and just go to the meal plans in video 1 and video 2, depending on your goal. Watch those and only watch those and follow that information. All right, that being said, I'm going to have to talk super fast during this because there is a lot of content to get through. So bear with me if I'm talking super fast. You might have to replay it a few times, but hopefully by the end of this, you know how to use MyFitnessPal and you know what to all put in. So when you first download MyFitnessPal, you're going to put in a whole bunch of details. And it might look something like this. Go into my profile, going to edit. All right, so they'll ask for your height, your weight, your age, etc., etc. Make sure everything's in there correctly. Now, the only thing that I also want you to do is units down the bottom where it says kilograms, centimeters, etc. Click on that. And make sure the following unit preferences are selected: kilograms, centimeters, kilometers, calories, and cups, right? That's what we're going to use to measure everything. So we're going to click tick. We're going to go out of there. All right. So once that's been done, you're going to go to goals. And in your goals, right, depending on your starting weight, you put in your current weight, which we measured for you. So in this case, this person is 88. So we're going to click yes, and we're going to do 88. Brilliant. Right, the goal weight for this person that wants to lose 8 kilos is obviously 80. 88 minus 8, simple. If your goal is to drop 6% body fat, what you want to probably do is put about 6 kilos to 7 kilos change on that. It's going to be a little bit different, but what's going to change it at the end of the day anyway is your results. So each week that we come through, if you're not dropping enough body fat, we will adjust the number. That's how it works. So your week 1 will be a bit of a guide. And then this is the same for everyone really. Depending on what your results do each week, depends on how much we change your calories and your total goal. So don't fret on it if it's not perfect in week 1. All right, so what you're going to do after that is you're going to click, depending on your goal, say you want to increase calories, you might start at 88, and then you want to put on 4 kilograms of muscle, so you're going to go to 92. So either select anywhere from gain 0.5 per week if you want to put on muscle, or select drop 1 kilo per week if you want to lose it. Your activity level, if you have a very active job, right? So if you're moving around a lot, plus with all the training, you get to go very active. If you are more sedentary, which means you sit down a lot, it's a desk job, you are going to go with active because you're going to be training every day, hence why you are active. Right, so that's what I want you to select in your goals. Make sure everything's in there correctly. One last thing. So where it says nutrition goals, calorie, carbs, proteins, and fat goals, I want you to click on that. And then what you're going to do is your calories are automatically calculated for you. So based on what I've just put in before, 88 kilo guy that wants to drop down to 80 kilos, my calories have been automatically worked out for me. So I'm going to eat 1,850 calories per day based on those goals that I've just put in. Okay, the thing that I want you to change as well is the carbohydrate, protein, and fat rate. If your goal is to drop body fat and to drop weight, the 8 kilos, you're going to click on any one of these, carbohydrates, proteins, and fat, and you're going to select 30% for carbohydrates. You're going to select 35 and 35 for protein and fat. If your goal is to build muscle, you can go closer to 40 and 15, right? So closer along those lines. So once again, if your goal is to drop body fat or lean muscle mass, you essentially want lower carbs. That's what we're going to do here. If your goal is to build more lean muscle mass, you can have higher carbs in your diet. That's really what it comes down to. So these are guidelines 30, 35, and 35, and then you're going to click tick, yes. So right up there. Brilliant. All right. So that should all be saved now. And now we go to this. So all the calories are set in for me. The goals, everything's all set up. what you do is every food that you measure, you're going to click this little plus sign right down here in the bottom middle. You click it, and you're going to add food. It doesn't really matter where you add it, if it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, because it's the total calories and your macros in a day that matters. So let me just show you what that looks like. So depending on your goal, if you're losing weight, dropping weight, it doesn't matter. Now, I've got a whole bunch of foods in here because I've used this app before. If you haven't used this before, you're going to have no foods in here. So that's fine. You're just going to have to search the food. So say I'm having rump steak. I search rump. I search it. And I put search. And all these options come up. And then I click whichever one it most applies to. So say I've done steak, but I'm eating 200 grams of steak. I click on the steak. And then where it says serving, number of servings, I'm going to click 2 because I'm eating 200 grams. So number 2, click tick, and then I'm good. Now what it tells you there is the total calories that I've consumed. 250 calories with the grams of fat will be 8.2. You don't have to worry about any of that individually for now. What you're going to be most concerned about is what's happening from day to day. So if I look at today, my goal was 1,850, as you can see at the top left-hand corner there. I've just had a meal that's 250 calories, which means I have 1,600 remaining for the day. So regardless of your goal, putting on size, losing weight or body fat, just make sure you're hitting your estimated calories for the day. That is what's going to be super important. And then, as mentioned before, we'll adjust each week depending on what's happening. So for example, say your goal is to lose 1 kilo in a week, and you come in and you've only lost, let's say worst case scenario, you've lost like 300 grams. Right? Probably not going to happen, but let's go worst case scenario, or even nothing. So you come in and nothing's happened. What we're going to do then is we'll adjust your calories for the next week. So then instead of your total calories for the day being 1,800, we'll change it back where it says goal, or we'll change it back in your total calories. You'll talk to one of the coaches. We'll show you how to do this, and we might now adjust you to 1,750 or 1,650. Right? And that is how we're going to do that and adjust everything into the goal. All right. So I just turned off there. That is how you're going to use MyFitnessPal. One little cool feature that I just want to show you real quick. If you want to add a food, don't worry about all this other stuff, water, exercise, etc. But say you're adding a lunch meal. It doesn't really matter where it is. You see this barcode in the top right-hand corner. You can click that, and I'd like to access your camera. And then what it does is you can scan the barcode of any product that you have. And when you scan that barcode, it will automatically come into, I'm just trying to get out of this now, it will automatically come into here, so it's all put in for you. So if you're eating anything with a barcode, then you can just pop it in. It's brilliant. It's a really cool little feature instead of you having to search it. But once again, once everything's in there, you can just click it. It's in your favorites. It's super easy. So once you've done this for the first week, it's really, really easy to keep your servings up to date. And one last little thing that I just want to show you, when you click more, and you click nutrition, what you will be tracking is your calories. So you see calories today. Obviously I've only put in a few foods, but my total calories is 634. So just make sure you're hitting your calories for the day. The goal is 1,800. It might be high or low depending on your goal, especially if you're trying to put on size. Make sure you definitely hit that number. If you're trying to lose body fat or if you're trying to lose weight, make sure you stay under the estimated number. That's what's important. So hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of insight of how to do this. And also with the nutrition, I should just say, if you click the macros for the day, based on that meal that I put in, this is how many carbohydrates, fats, and proteins I've got left in each meal. So for today, protein, my goal was 35. I've already hit 55% because I've gone huge on the steak, obviously, which is primarily protein and fat. So just be aware of, if you're tracking, try to stay with your macros as well. It will point them out to you what's happening. But what is most important is that you're hitting your total calories. That is going to be the drive factor. Don't worry about macros too much. It's a guide. Try to stay within it. But if you go over or under, do not fret. Calories, on the other hand, be diligent with your calories. Be on point with your calories. Hence why we are calorie tracking. Hope that makes sense. Any questions, pop them in the Facebook group.